Hello and welcome to the 7-part series of the Spiral of Creation, which is using the chakras more in a spiral pattern rather than straight up or down. And it's a system that's used in, or patterning that's used in a system called the dream spell, which is based off of sort of the Mayan day counting. Some people call it an astrology, but it's, just sort of like a day counting patterning system. And in the dream spell, which is its own thing, it's based off of the Mayan calendars, but it is a little bit of a more modern take on it. They have this 7-day pattern of how we work through the chakras, and it's in a spiral of creation. And so what this series is intended to do is to take us through that spiral of creation. So in the very first reading, we are going to receive a download, open to inspiration. So we're going to work each week on clearing and understanding how we work with each chakra to help it sort of clear and open and be ready for what is going to be coming in. And so I'm going to be putting this intro to the series at the start of each of the 7-week actual videos. So if you've already seen this, feel free to skip ahead to the intro to the actual reading. But if you haven't seen this yet, or if you want a refresher, I would stay here. And also a note that it is very important that you do this in order. So if you're coming into this and seeing this when we're at the heart chakra, so like the 7th reading, or if we're at the throat chakra, which would be the 5th reading, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the 5th one, whichever one you're coming in at. If you have not gone in order, I would highly suggest for you to go back and start with the first reading of the series because this is a patterning. The first one is going to kick it off, and each subsequent one is a step that you shouldn't skip over. So I'm just going to go over what this patterning is. So we start in this system with the crown chakra. And in the philosophy around this spiraling pattern with the chakras, this is where we receive a download, receive inspiration or a divine spark, and it starts the spiral of creation. And so in the first reading, I will be helping us to see where there may be any blocks or things to be cleared, connecting different insights into how you may work with this chakra in general, and then just getting any insights about what kind of download or inspiration may be coming, but leaving it open-ended. And it's going to be a full week between readings. And so giving you that whole week of time to sort of receive your download, sort of pay attention to what this reading illuminated for you and receiving the download. And then in the second week, we'll anchor it down into the body by going into the root chakra. So taking the download and grounding it, finding how we feel connected to this, and how we feel aligned in our depths with it. So finding, our connection, our alignment, and our grounding with the inspiration that came in. And then we take it back up to the third eye, and this is the week where we will be using inner knowing to help see where there's old programming that needs to be cleared away for new programming, a new creation to come in, and tapping into any inner knowings we have that can help us have vision with this, sight with it, so some longer term planning and strategy with it. And then we go back down into the sacral chakra. And so we take all these things the insights we've had and the understandings of maybe what's needed to be cut in terms of old programming, and we sort of transmutate that, we alchemize it and free up new energy to come in and start to move and feel a sensitivity and connect to some emotionality and fluidity around what this download is. So like beyond just anchoring it in and feeling connected to it, now we're kind of moving with it and feeling how it feels to us, which might help us to mold something about this or move something about it, and getting creative with it. But in the beginning, there does have to be some sort of alchemy that helps to take things we've seen that we need to cut away and sort of move it out of us as well, in order to get to moving it into us in a more fluid, creative way. And then we go back up into the throat chakra. And this is where, now that we've felt this energy, moved it, maybe molded something about it, there's something we probably want to speak at this point, release at this point. And so this is the reading where we'll connect to where there may be blocks around oppression or repression that need you to express something in order to open the gates and let it vibrate out in the world, resonate out in the world by you speaking your truth and releasing any blocks here. And then we go back down into our solar center, and this is where we find our core value with this, which gives us confidence and willpower and connection to manifesting and real sort of vitality around this to kind of charge forward and stake our claim in whatever this download has kind of turned into at this point. And then we end the series anchoring into our heart chakra, which is the center chakra of all. And it's where things fully integrate into us. So now at the end of this spiral of creation, something is trying to fully integrate here, which then opens our heart, helps us to radiate and be the presence of it and just be it. Be whatever the presence of this download ends up transforming into in this creation cycle. And in my opinion, this spiral of creation and working with the chakras this way, where we then really integrate something into our hearts, to me it's like the heart is the key that turns something on that then awakens the chakra as we're used to, the chakra system as we're used to hearing about it with like a kundalini rising. So I feel like we need to go through this spiral process and really anchor into our heart, which becomes a key that creates that kundalini rising, that ignites all the chakras fully on and rising up and creating an awakening. And then we start again. It's like that awakening makes us fully open again, and then we're ready to receive a new download, a new inspiration, and a new message for a new spiral of creation. That's how I see it anyway. The dream spell system, they actually call these the 7 radial plasmas, but I think most people are more familiar with the chakra terminology. That system doesn't necessarily talk about that being the key for the kundalini rising. That's sort of my own opinion, and as I've worked this pattern a lot over the last couple of years, that's sort of how I feel like it works for me, at least. So this is where I'm going to leave you. Definitely go back to the first reading and do these in order if you're here for the first time at a later on reading. And you can definitely skip over this series intro now that you have seen it in the other readings, but definitely sometimes it's nice to have a refresher too. So if you feel like you need that, you know, maybe at the first one you watch this and the second and third you don't need to, but then at the fourth you're like, oh, I need to refresh with that, you know, whatever works for you. But once you've seen this once, don't feel like you need to watch it every time. So after this intro that will be at the start of each of the 7 readings, we will go into the intro for the actual reading. So I will see you in the intro for whichever reading you are at. All right, see you guys. Hello and welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot, and a continuation on a series of 7 readings that we're doing. And this is definitely one that you need to be doing in order. So if you have not yet done the first reading of this Spiral of Creation, I would absolutely start there and then come back to this reading. This is the second of 7. So this is going through a spiral of creation using our chakras, but instead of going straight up or straight down the line of chakras, we're going in a spiral. So we started with the crown chakra in the first week to connect to, open, clear our crown chakras, understand how we work with our crown chakras in order to, over the course of the week, receive a download, a spark of inspiration, something that would bring us sort of the aha of what this spiral of creation was going to be about for you in particular. And so we're going from that crown chakra now down to our root chakra. And this is where we are going to now take that download, take that spark of inspiration, whatever it was for you, and we're going to ground it down into our life, into our bodies, understand how we connect to it in a sense, with like a sense of belonging, with a sense of being aligned with our soul, and with some sort of vitality within us as well, physically. Okay, so we've got 4 piles to choose from, and just so you know, these cards are not going to be used in the reading. I just took the root chakra or the Muladhara card from 4 different decks to be placeholders for the piles. So we've got pile 1, which is from the Sigil Oracle, the root chakra card from that. Pile 2 is a root chakra card from, I really need to look at it because I'm using it in every reading. It's a chakra oriented deck. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the descriptions though. The Muladhara or root chakra card from the Yogic deck. And then the root chakra associated card from the Wise Animal Body deck. So if you enjoy the breath work I do, we will go into that now to help you sort of ground into your body and intuition, as well as open up your higher wisdom and invite in some insight and inspiration in connecting with which pile is yours. And you don't have to follow, say you in the crown chakra chose the card from the Wise Animal Body, you don't have to stay with that. You can choose from any pile that you're drawn from. It doesn't have to stay in the same pile. Okay, so place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel the solidity, the stability underfoot. And take a deep breath in to ground into that, to ground into your body. Now take a deep breath in and pull that air all the way up, up, up to the space between your brows. Hold it there. Suck in a little bit more air to add some pressure. And then out loud, exhale it out. Opening up your crown chakra and inviting in some inspiration, activating your third eye for inner wisdom, and centering in that grounding we started with to connect to the pile that makes you feel anchored and magnetized to it, which has the correct reading and message for anchoring this message from the divine down into your body. All right, I'll see you in your readings. Hello, Pile 1. You guys are the Root Chakra or Muladhara card from the Sigil Oracle. And we're actually not going to use this in the reading. It was just a placeholder, so I'm going to set it to the side for now. So coming into this reading, hopefully you already have jotted down somewhere what download has come to you from the first reading, from the crown chakra reading, what either insight, inspiration, download has come to you. So now we are going to anchor this down into our bodies. And first I want to look at anything that might be blocking or anything you need to know about helping to open up and activate your root chakra to really download this, take it into your body, and find some inner grounding and belonging with this, inner connection with it. Okay, midheaven, pinnacle. So there could be something around your inspiration or insight, or inspiration or download that either pertains to your position in the world or something you're building mastery around, or has brought like a sense of overwhelm or burden. That's actually what I feel more than anything. Like this has brought whatever download came, even though it's from the divine, and those tend to be, you know, somewhat like giving you an aha and an inspiration. But sometimes, you know, after you've sat on that a week and had some ideas about where you're supposed to take this, as you're now taking it and rooting it into your body, there may suddenly be some pressure being felt here through your root chakra. In one of the systems I follow, the root chakra is considered to be a motor chakra and holds our, where we hold pressure in our, you know, one of the points where we hold pressure in our body. And that's what I'm sensing here. Is there something you're feeling pressure in your root chakra that's blocking a little bit of allowing this to really ground in a beautiful, aligned way. So let's get a little context about that. So Fool in reverse, yeah. It's like the download has maybe brought a new impulse, something that would require you to take a leap of faith and require you to sort of trust in yourself to follow impulses, to jump into something being a bit unprepared. And initially, you know, the download may have felt exciting and refreshing and inspiring to you, but suddenly as you're bringing this down into your body, that could feel a little bit destabilizing to you. Yeah, so there's something here about trying, you know, needing to connect into safety, to take a leap, courage to jump into something even though you may be somewhat unprepared. Accepting the fact that sometimes when we do pioneer things, we are going into uncharted territory, and there's not always a great way to be prepared other than baptism by fire type of thing. So I feel like there's just something you're needing to sort of bring into alignment with as this settles into your body about opening up to and surrendering to the fact that this is going to require some courage and some impulse from you, and that it will open up new pathways. Whether you soar or you fall with this leap of faith isn't really the point here. And so that might help you relieve some pressure. That's not the point of the download. It doesn't need for you to soar or to fall. It's neutral about that. It needs you to connect to your impulse and your courage. And that's all it wants for you. It doesn't need the subject matter of this to succeed or be anything or do anything. Whatever came through to connect you to passion and impulse. Simply that. It doesn't need for that passion or impulse to succeed or not succeed. It just wants you to connect to that. So hopefully something about that will help to take some pressure off of like feeling like this thing that you're jumping into there, that you're feeling inspired to jump into, has to be perfect or be perfectly planned or go somewhere in particular. It doesn't. It really doesn't. At least right now. At least as you anchor this into your body, the anchoring, the bringing it into your physical vessel is all about feeling your passion. Okay, and then we've got voice, speaking your word. Beautiful. I think this is a really, really great insight into how you can release. I love that it was like, this to me feels like a suggestion, what you're needing as a suggestion to release the pressure. I think there's something you need to speak something about, a truth you're feeling that will release some sort of repression or oppression or some sort of truth that's built up in you. And by speaking it and expressing it, it releases that pressure and allows the impulse, the passion, the download, the inspiration to really more gently, more beautifully, more expressively settle into your body. The Emperor reversed. It's interesting because these come pretty close to each other, the Fool to the Emperor. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on whatever this spiral of creation is to you and whatever inspiration has come to like make it big and do it in a very polished, responsible, foresightful way, and you're sort of missing something by putting that kind of pressure on what's going on here. This doesn't need to be big. It may end up being big down the road, but for now, you need to let go of feeling like this inspiration needs to lead to something big, something wildly successful or wildly refined or polished. This just needs to feel fun for right now, and it needs to connect you to your truth and an impulse within you. That's it. It doesn't need to go any further than that at this stage. Okay, one more thought about helping to clear the way for this to really settle into your body. Find the way it feels connected to you and belongs to you. Fate, how beautiful. I think that's a beautiful thing to come through in terms of just dropping into some trust here. Dropping into, faith, trust, belief of whatever happens, however big or small, it was meant to be. It was destined to happen. And I feel like it's waking you up. And that's the only point of this, is waking you up a bit. Yeah. Okay, woo. And then we've got 4 of, I mean, talk about waking you up. 4 of Cups in reverse. This is about coming out of your cave. There's something here. I think what your download, whether you're conscious of it or not, the download that's come in, the inspiration you're bringing into embodiment and anchoring in, is something that's wanting to, in that embodiment, push you out of like being down in your depths, finding your strength, finding your soul, finding your center. I think you've found it. You've centered, you've aligned. This is already aligned with your soul and your body. You don't need to spend a lot of time on anchoring this in. It's natural. It's already aligned. You don't need to worry about that, but you need to, that's where the impulse is. You need to worry about having some bravery to take the leap, to come out of the cave and step into the light a bit with whatever this is. Just take some action. Just start to express yourself. Speak a truth you've found. Speak an expression you're feeling compelled to express. And allow yourself to shine a little here. Anchor this in a way that pushes you to embrace something starting to radiate out of you. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, a little bravery and releasing pressure of this needing to be anything just other than pushing yourself out there. I feel like the inspiration is almost as simple as just pushing yourself out of the cave to be more in the world and shining the depth of your soul that you've aligned with. Okay, so now we are going to look at a few things around how your connection to your root chakra works, a little bit of context around your root chakra. So these are things about having, what you can do to sort of clear and activate your root chakra to receive this download and anchor it into your body. But now we're just going to look generally at your root chakra. How does it feel? How do you develop a relationship with it? Oh, beautiful. 7th chakra. Interesting. Okay, so this says the energy of the crown chakra supports our feeling of being connected to a higher power and part of a larger whole. So that's really, talk about having to be brave. Your root chakra, how you ground into reality, and materialize things, anchor things into your physical life, into your life force, it's fed. It makes sense because in this system I'm using, the crown chakra sends, so sort of feeds the root chakra, but it's almost like you're already very aware of this way of working with chakras. So it's like your root chakra is very open and attuned to those downloads you get. So it's almost like your downloads almost go straight to your root chakra versus having any articulation and sort of mental orientation. And that could have a little bit of reasoning why there may be some hesitation. I'm feeling like this is maybe not particular to this specific download. This may be a pattern you already, that's sort of normal in you, is because downloads and your crown chakra have a direct line of communication with your root chakra. Maybe you're always feel like you're being pushed to act on things before you mentally understand them and can articulate why you're doing that. But this is asking you to trust that what you get those impulses to act on are coming straight from source. So to have a little trust there and not put so much pressure on those impulses and those inspirations in general, not just with this, to have to be anything major. A lot of times the downloads coming are just helping us to connect to things that are already, in ourselves. So this part of this may just be helping you to understand your process with your chakras and with spiral creation. But I'll leave that up to you. Maybe you guys do have a download that is very much so articulatively understood, mentally understood, and that's great too. But I do feel like for a lot of you that might be, something to be aware of. Okay, and then we've got the Seeker. This is beautiful. Yeah, the way you build your connection, trust with, relationship to your crown chakra is just being very open, being willing to be exploratory, to be adventurous with receiving guidance and instruction from the divine, from source, and allowing that to help mold who you are in a big way. Define aspects of you that are undefinable, is just to really be open to inspiration and not questioning taking action on downloads and inspiration, and being open to pushing that, allowing that to push you to seek, to explore, to see beyond the veil of like normal perception. So like your grounding, your rooting is very interesting. You may even have moments where you sort of dissociate from your body, because it's like grounding things in you require you to explore outside of normal space-time or something, or like beyond veils that are normal to our existence. But there's something about doing that does anchor things in for you at the same time. So I don't know, I shouldn't say dissociate from your body, but like astral travel is something that actually kind of like grounds you paradoxically. That's what I'm feeling. Something about doing that really helps to develop your relationship to your root chakra. It's very fed, it's very nurtured and very fed by your crown chakra. So you need to feel that healthy flow and not feel pressured to make those feelings of inspiration have to be anything other than just impulse to act. And you'll see later on in that creation spiral what is supposed to be done with that, and have a little bit more insight with it. Yeah, okay. So next we're going to use a deck that will show what kind of pattern will arise when you are working well with your root chakra, wherein it's clear and activated. What will be present in you. Imagination, that makes so much sense. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Yeah, I feel like you're very plugged into these downloads, and it can maybe be very fantastical, very otherworldly. And when you feel like that is being nourished by you, instead of feeling like something that's pressure to do something with that, when you're just feeling nourished by it, and your mind is relaxed with it, that's when you're working with this in a really proper, beautiful way, and indicating that your root chakra is active and open. Oops. Let's see. We got a card that dropped. I'll take that for you guys here. So Queen of Swords. It actually leads by sort of allowing yourself to go into otherworldly places and really plugged into your imagination. It actually brings you, in the way this sort of roots into your body and settles in you, actually brings you a lot of clarity of mind, ability to have perspective in life and make decisions and understand beautiful relationships to things, and have a lot of beautiful creation power around imagination and knowing in mind what to do with that imagination once you've sort of just let it be. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Okay. Now we are going to see, I mean, you can get, you know, there's many ways, I'm sure, that we all anchor and root things into our body and find those alignments in our body with creation. But we're going to look right now at a general, you know, normalized, pretty consistent way this happens for you. What that feels like. So the shark. Yeah, there's something here about it's like the downloads that go straight into your body, straight into your grounding, ask you to be immediately assertive and immediately active. And you should just know that there's a lot of strength behind this, though. You instinctually have amazing survival skills in doing this and need to trust that you do. You're kind of a force to be reckoned with when you just allow this to flow and really do what you feel you're supposed to be doing with the downloads, by being very assertive, very immediately taking action. Yeah, and it gives you just, when you do that, yeah, it's just like, I think you have your root chakra has endless capacity for creation and fertility. You're very, very fertile because you're so plugged in to imagination, to depth, and you let source go straight into your depths, straight into your soul, and it makes your energy very fertile. And this energy really wants you to, you know, typical anchoring in really tries to push you to be assertive with this and to trust your survival instincts. And yeah, so trust what has come. And in general, when you get downloads, trust taking action on what you're feeling you're supposed to, and try to alleviate pressure of needing to think these have to go anywhere big. There's just like a joy, there's endless fertility within you, endless imagination within you. So no one inspiration, no one download really should ever feel pressured to go anywhere, because there's a wave right behind it, and right behind that, and right behind that, and right behind that. And the ones that are meant to catch and go big places, they will. So just, you know, sort of relax into it. Just move and be impulsive as you feel compelled to be by inspiration. So cool. Okay, let's get a crystal message to leave you with about this particular inspiration, and something to know about it rooting and grounding into you and finding its alignment in you, which we already know is there. Tiger's eye, overcome your fears. Yeah, it's just time to take the leap. Trust your survival instincts. Trust that feeling of being compelled to be assertive and active. Just do it. And take the pressure off of anything needing to come from it. Have fun with it, because there's endless downloads, endless inspiration, endless fertility available to you with the relationship you have between your root chakra and crown chakra. Okay, to end this reading, where did I put that deck? Shoot. Oh, here it is. We're going to pick a plant medicine for you that's going to give you some wise guidance around how this inspiration is grounding into you, and maybe some advice on what you can do to help that process. Okay, so we've got gumweed from the Dirt Gems deck, which is 19, and I'm going to be reading from the guidebook for this. Okay, and these are somewhat long, so buckle in. The transmuter. Gumweed is the shield and the bandage. They will protect you, but should you endure pain or hardship, they can also nurse your wounds. Gumweed's powers lie in their sticky, extraterrestrial-looking goo that can act as a second skin to our skin and mucosa. With this, they can coat your wounds inside and out while letting the hurt breathe and the slow and necessary newness proliferate. Your raw and tender wounds can take their time to transform as gumweed seeps into your cells, tissues, and heart, letting you know that you are standing by, preventing more hurt from coming in. This lovely, pungent flower is succulent and salty, a plant ally that grows beside their beloved sea. As a being of the sandy shores of the coast, gumweed knows well the grinding of life that wind, sand, salt, and spray embody. This plant friend is tough but kind, watery but living in dry, sandy soils and holding every last drop to use efficiently. They are concentrated and potent. A little goes a long way with this plant, similarly to desert medicines, but gumweed also contains the drawing, moving, tidal energy of the ocean. Gumweed is a lung tonic, and a friend of grief. Should you find yourself on the shores of a tidal loss in life, they will be your company. Gumweed is pungent, asking with their scent for your cells to open, release, allowing for easier breathing, for the nervous system to slow, dispersing oxygen, pent-up energy, using their congealed stickiness to smooth out, to move with the graceful rhythm of a wave. Gumweed helps us with the nuisance of the changing tides in and out, the boundaries of our own existence. And that last line to me was something I really honed in on here, seeing how you have this really deep connection from a relationship to your root chakra by allowing it to be very open to your crown chakra, and your ability to kind of go beyond the veil into the otherworldly. Gumweed, to me, it was indicating that it's holds the environment of shores, which are transition places between here and there. And I think that's an energy you hold very well, and it's an area, I think, where we can get some battle wounds. But trust your toughness, trust your thick skin, trust your ability to survive, and the assertion you feel within you, trust that too, that it's for your own good, and maybe needed in these very kind of between places. Yeah, so, and whatever else you picked up from this, I'm sure there's plenty of messages in there that may specifically speak to each of you in certain ways as well, in relation to what your download is and how you're feeling about it, anchoring in. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys with this root chakra part of the spiral of creation. And I will be back with you next week as we go back up to the third eye where our inner knowing is. All right, if this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are great to read. In this whole series, I think it'd be really fun to hear comments, see what you guys are doing and creating or connecting to in terms of what your feeling might be creating. Yeah, so I will see you guys next week. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your second reading of this Spiral of Creation series. If you have yet to do the first reading in this, I would definitely go back and do that before you come to do this. So pause here if you need to do that and come back. So we're going to look at whatever inspiration or download you received during the week between the crown chakra reading and now. We're going to look at how to root this into your body and your connection to your root chakra. So seeing where there may be blockages and what we can do to clear those in order for this to ground into your physical embodiment and find some alignment with your soul and a certain belonging and stability within you. And then we're going to look at some general things about how you connect to your root chakra to just help you develop your relationship there. And then we'll look at a plant medicine ally as an insight into something to know to really help this specific inspiration or download really come in a beautiful way. Okay, so this card is not actually going to be in the reading. It was a placeholder, so I'm going to put this to the side. And we are going to start out by seeing if there, what kind of things you should know to help bring more openness and activation into your crown chakra. Mars and motion. So you might need to move your physical body a little bit right now to clear out some toxins, to get clear with your own energy and really come into your sense of self and a sense of sort of like assertiveness and confidence in your ability to kind of assert in life. But I love this call to action here, motion. I think there's something about putting yourself into a little bit more active, physically active energy than you have been in the last few weeks, just to get your blood and your heart and your body moving and feeling itself. Okay, let's get a confirmation card here. Oops, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, beautiful. So there's, I love this because the Pentacles is all about the physical realm, and that's the chakra we're talking about, is the one that really embodies us or drops our inspiration into our body. And you have immense power here. You have a lot of power in body, and in being able to mold the material realm in general and manifest. But it's like, I think there's something stagnant right now around this. You just need to move, you need to assert, you need to breathe and get your blood pumping and just like get clear in yourself to make this more open, to really utilize the power you have in being able to anchor things in and manifest in a material way. Attraction, magnetism. Yeah, I mean, I always feel like, Mars, Aries, Ace energy is incredibly magnetic. It's the beginning of things, which it always attracts because it's so singular. It really attracts energy to it. It brings in it brings in the messages that are supposed to be had in that initiative spot. So this is just showing up very strongly for you, but there's something, let's get a confirmation card of seeing why this is showing up as needing to have some clearing. Yeah, this feels like a progression to me. I think as you get a little bit more active, get your blood and your oxygen moving, you open up and activate the power you have in your root chakra and in the material realm, and then you find a vision. I think there's a vision you're really needing to connect to or feel, even on a sense level inside of you. It's like get sort of clear about what's downloaded or inspired you, and ask specifically what it is about this that you're really wanting to anchor in. Find a focus about that, and that will really magnetize it in, like, very quickly, very powerfully. But there's something about getting clear about how to anchor this into you, or what it is you're wanting to anchor in about your inspiration. Okay, one more thing to look at, the Magi. I mean, it's all kind of saying the same thing. It's so interesting, but this is definitely showing almost like the magician in the tarot. It's sort of like all of the elements are at your disposal right now to take from that ethereal realm and make it real. So whatever is downloaded for you, whatever inspiration has come in for you in that last reading and the week between these two, your potential to really manifest here is very high. There's a lot of magic around you, a lot of clarity. So it's just like anything you can do to get clear, to be decisive about what it is you're anchoring, what you want, how you want this to feel to you, since we're talking about the body and the material. Yeah, and trusting, believing in yourself, really coming in with confidence and assertiveness here. 3 of Hearts, or 3 of Swords reversed. Interesting. So there could be, this is giving me a little bit more context as to, because this is all like beautiful, strong stuff showing up, and I'm like, I don't know, other than to say to like push your physical body a little more. I don't know what else to say to clear this, because it's all very clear feeling, but this is giving me that context I've been sort of not hoping to see, but like wondering if there was something more. I think this all might be a little bit clouded right now because of some emotions, specifically around like your heart being disappointed, a loss connected to your heart, something that's just, it could be having to do with love relationships, but it doesn't have to be anything that feels heavy in your heart, disappointing, a disappointment that's made your heart feel wounded or heavy. Or there could be some relational grief going on as well that's sort of clouding all of this. But this showing upside down is showing that this is starting to settle, and anything that's coming in now is coming from, and especially if it's touching on, if this inspiration is trying to download into your body, to have you take action around something that you may feel triggered about because of an experience you've had that's pushing you to connect to your heart or open your heart. You're ready to, and the message here is that you won't attract the same situation or disappointment again. You've been through experiences, you've gained wisdom. You've gained insight into yourself, into the world, into others. Whatever is downloading that maybe your body is feeling almost like it wants to reject because of some grief and fear here. There's so much potential behind it, and beauty and magnetism and power. And it's because of your lived experience, and it will not go the same way. And it has such positive, beautiful energy associated with it. And it's coming from source. It's coming from the divine. Any download, any inspiration, you may be having a hard time trusting that it's from source. But yeah, it's like this being reversed is showing that you're ready to let this go and you're ready for this. So just sort of like trust. I know that's, easier said than done, but that's the message I'm feeling, is trust. There's so much power here. Okay, we are going to go down a level now and look at a few things in general about your root chakra, how you can understand it more, what is your connection to it, how does it function for you. So this first draw, we're going to look at in what way do you develop a really strong relationship to your root chakra. What are the things you do that really make you feel connected to and strengthen your bond with it? Grace. The frequency of grace supports our smooth adaptation to and anticipation of life's currents and changes as we evolve toward a higher version of ourselves on this earthly plane, bridging the divide with the human essence. This makes me feel like you're very connected to relationship and beauty in general. So those things, it's an interesting root chakra connection. The way you bond with it is like something about understanding the essence of the formless against form. I know that's sort of strange. Don't feel like you have to understand what that means, but an example is like moonlight on water. Moonlight itself is sort of formless, but it's given context by being in relationship to water. And so there's something about you being able to see relationships and understand the formless in beautiful ways based on its relationship to form, which can relate to how our heart maps onto and connects with others and our relational unfolding of things in general. So I do feel like there's something very relational in how you anchor things into your existence and how you manifest things. It's like you need to be in deep relationship and understand how things are in relation to each other. And there's something about that that really opens and strengthens how you work with your root chakra. Okay, let's get a little context with that. 9 of Pentacles. It is also something that gives you a lot of sovereignty. There's something about knowing about relationship, harmonizing, beauty, design, diplomacy, dance, something in that realm. I really think you're very masterful at anchoring in and giving you security in life that can give you sovereignty and sort of like, it doesn't have to be for everyone, but the potential for like successful self-employment, abilities that are, even if you're not self-employed, abilities that are indispensable, just like a deep, unique instinct with beauty and relationship that gives you some kind of power and sovereignty in life. So that's a really, really gorgeous, powerful bond that you work through with your root chakra. Okay, next we're going to look at what is the energy that shows up when you are working really well with your root chakra, when it's clear and open and active. What's kind of the energy that shows up in your life? Success. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense from what we just saw with this sovereignty and kind of like, yeah, material sufficiency of self. So I know there is no greater goal than to love. And so maybe what you do, and that makes sense with this relational energy, is deeply being in relationship in the physical capacity, in a materialized way, connected to love, and that brings a lot of success to you. So success is felt when you are, really harmonious and heart opened. So it's no wonder you've probably had several heartbreaks, because I think there is a deep connection to anchoring in and materializing relationship and heart in your life. And so you've probably had a lot of ups and downs with that, but you get more wise, more mature, more trusting the more you work with this. And sometimes we just have to go through difficult experiences to gain the wisdom that ends up bringing, so much success, so much love. And Two of Cups in reverse. That's interesting for how, like, signs of how it's working, open and active. And to me, this is indicating like a deep commitment to your inner world, a deep commitment to your own intuition as your guide, and allowing like signs that you're doing really well with your root chakra. I think patterns that would show up is that you're giving yourself a lot of space to connect with your inner world and to build relationship with your intuition as your highest guide. And your intuition is very connected to body sensation as well. And understanding intuition is bringing you guidance about what makes you feel grounded and secure and deep and stable and rooted in life. Okay, so now we are going to look at what is sort of a very normalized, typical kind of way that your root chakra likes to anchor energy in. What's sort of its process? What does that feel like? And how can you become more aware of it? Dragon, gorgeous. Very, very assertive, very brave, very connected with confidence and your core values, and very able to open up different dimensions of life as well. So your anchoring process, your root chakra's general process, is really clear, really, just there's a confidence in the process of your root chakra, and a dynamic ability with it to really open up the dimensional aspects of what it's anchoring in, and seeing it in a multi-dimensional way, and in a way what it's bringing in that brings you sort of independence as well, and power. With Five of Cups, I think it knows exactly what to walk away from and what to push forward in terms of what it anchors in. So you just need to trust that instinct of your body and around your intuition about what feels secure and what doesn't. It knows, just trust that impulse. It knows what to anchor in and what to leave behind. It knows where only ghosts lie and what to steer clear of, and it knows where fertility and power and dynamism is, and so what to anchor in. And I think those are sensations you'll feel like, does this have a haunted feeling? Yeah, like that's not powerful for me. Or does this have like a dynamic dimensional feeling? Yeah, you know, that sensation, it's like it opens you up in different ways in body sensation, then you like very confidently can anchor that in. Okay, we are going to get a message from the crystal realm, just a simple thing it wants to leave you with as sort of an advice for what's coming in now, what your body is, your root chakra is being asked to anchor in about whatever inspiration or download came to you last week. What's just a message for your root chakra about how it can do this beautifully. Hematite, ground yourself. Well, I mean, that's very basic for the root chakra, ground yourself. So yeah, I mean, like I said here, I think there are some emotions clouding things, and I think grounding yourself will get you back into that physical power you have, and get you back into your confidence and your assertion. Grounding yourself will really make that switch for you. That's beautiful. Okay, so the last card we are going to do is from the Dirt Gems, and it is a plant ally and plant medicine for you that has some advice on you know, something deeper than the crystal messages to know, that could really help you find that grounding of what you're anchoring in from your download or inspiration. What kind of plant ally has a message and can assist you and be a wise guide here? And you've got black walnut. Okay, so that is 53, and I'm going to be reading from the book for this. It's a little long, so buckle in. Ladder to the stars. The crones, the elders, the wise ones turn to black walnut for situations that require the most delicate and discerning advice. Yeah, that makes sense for there being maybe like an emotional hurt, or you know, from the past that's being triggered by what you're being asked to anchor in from an inspiration. Black walnut is a canopy tree growing straight and tall toward the light, with wood that is dense and beautiful, and has long been an ally to humans, providing food, medicine, building materials, and dye. But while black walnut is generous and dignified, they are also the discerner and the expeller. Black walnut is allelopathic, meaning they produce a chemical that can make it difficult for many plants to grow around them. Black walnut is an example of choosing what you surround yourself with and removing or cutting ties with what does not serve you. You know this on an instinctual level, how to do this, that we talked about with the dragon energy, how your root chakra the method it likes to use to anchor things in. It has a deep, deep discernment. Trust that. Black walnut asks for your conviction and your sense of truth that is uniquely and only yours. Black walnut asks for your courage to look around and decide. Make the hard choice to drastically change if you must, to unravel your ideas of what you thought would or should happen. If you are feeling tied to the expectations of others, If you fear disappointing or impacting those around you at the cost of your own well-being, Black Walnut will not forsake you. Black Walnut says, doubt does nothing for you. Believe in what you already know to be true. Yeah, being really connected to your intuition, because there's, some deep relational wiring and programming in your root chakra. I think that's why the sign that you're using it well is that you're really listening to your intuition, because there are a lot of relational strings pulling at you, I think, often here. Perhaps you are tied to a story that began long ago. I feel that here. From before. Perhaps your guides are anger, resentment, jealousy, or confusion. If this is the case, it is time for you to get to know Black Walnut. It's time for you to cultivate a willingness for everything to be different. Like I said, what's coming in, what you felt your inspiration or download was, is from Source. It's for your higher good. It wants only love and beauty for you. And even though it might be triggering you, this is going to be different. It will not turn out the way whatever it's triggering did. There's so much beautiful power behind what's coming in. So yeah, trust your intuition overall though, and use your knowledge of grace and relationship and beauty, and trust your process, your root chakra's process of discernment, and what it decides is right to ground into you and what isn't. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. Beautiful reading. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are always fun as well. And definitely subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys in a week's time as we continue the spiral of creation. So we've gone from the crown chakra down to the root. And next time we will go up again to the third eye and check in with our inner knowing. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 3. If this is you guys, you picked the Muladhara or root chakra card from the Yogic path deck, something like that. Anyway, and this was just a placeholder. We're not actually going to be using this card in the reading. It was just to help sort of be an avatar for this pile. So I'm just going to set this aside as we jump into the reading. So first we're going to be looking at some things around your root chakra where there may be blocks or healing needed, or just things to know to help clear it and activate it, in order for you to really be able to take the inspiration that came to you, or the download that came to you, or the spark that came to you, and really ground it into yourself, where in this coming week we want to find the anchoring and the feeling of it feeling settled and connected to us and aligned with our depths and our soul, kind of thing. Okay, so let's first look at some guidance from astrology of anything we need to know about where some clearing needs to happen to help this work better, open and be clear and active for you. Okay, so Mercury and messages. To me, this could go one of two ways. There may be like an overactive mind where you're not embodied enough, and so like needing to do maybe some more physical things or grounding things to kind of move you from mind to body. And I guess in the same vein, but like a slightly different take on this, is your mind might be a little bit agitated or anxious or busy or spinning a little bit right now. I actually feel that when I said spinning, that's what feels accurate to me, like something's spinning in your mind. And there's something about needing to, just like come back into body and find a way to move the focus of energy from mind to body. So any grounding work, any physical, especially like aerobic activity, anything that really gets your pulse moving, your diaphragm opening and closing, your lungs pushing air through you, things that really clear things out and settle you into more of an embodiment. If you're not into aerobic exercises, there may just be, you know, even something like a mindfulness practice that allows you to sort of be less attached to thoughts, just kind of like watch your thoughts but not be attached to them, which allows you to kind of settle some things that might be sort of swirling in your mind too much. Let's get a little bit of a context and confirmation here. Page of Cups. So sort of like in dreamer phase right now, especially in the emotional realm. So it may be sort of like your heart being the thing that's kind of sparking your mind to, there's like some emotion, something in your heart, whether it's relational or just creative. There's something that's, yeah, kind of sparking your mind to be a little bit spinny right now. And that dreamy energy is fine. It's just needing to find a way to sort of, you know, that root chakra really does like us to be a little bit in kind of like practical reality. And I don't like telling people not like to come out of a dreamy mode. I love dreamy mode myself. But there is something here where it's like you need to come back into the moment though, at least moments of every day in the coming week or the coming few days. Just find a space and time that you decide you're going to kind of like come really anchored into the moment and be present and deal with what's right there in front of you, practically, pragmatically, and feeling yourself in your body versus in a dream that's kind of, I don't know, spinny. Yeah, so just some sort of practice every day that really puts you in a mode of being present and in your body. I think that will help whatever is needing to anchor down into you have at least moments every day between this reading and the next to sort of settle in and find openings to get in to the grounding within you. Okay, I feel like this one wants to come out. Power Volcano. Yeah, I mean, to me that confirms what I was saying. Like, I think some physical activity is really going to help you connect to the power your body holds and the energy and vitality it provides you with when you take care of it, when you move it, when you are present in it and working with it. That's just like, yeah, confirmation to me of what I already said there, but the addition of what's coming in here is like, this to me is saying that if you can do that, if you can really tap into the power of your body and like move it and feel that energy building, whatever the download is that's needing to anchor into you, ground into your life, is going to be really inspiring and really give you an immense amount of spark and energy and activation and motivation. Something that you'll feel quite passionate about. And then this is Four of Swords in reverse as a confirmation. So yeah, to me, I'm just feeling that mode of being more present, more aware, more present, more upright I know this is like reverse, but there's something about these swords actually feeling upright to me in the reverse. So that something about what I'm saying may feel to you for some reason like paradoxical or opposite to what you want to do. But trust that process of getting into your body is what's going to give you the spark and passion, and clear your mind, stabilize your mind, make it still and calm, and allow your body to activate. And I feel like why this feels opposite to what you're wanting or what feels right maybe to you in some ways is like being in this dreamy mode might be what you're relating with as anchoring this in, but this dreamy mode is almost like you're stuck still in that crown chakra, and you're not, it's like you're enjoying that so much that you're not doing what you need to do to anchor this and make it something real with real potential in the world. And so to you it may feel like, oh, I don't want to come into the present and into the body because I'm enjoying this and I feel like this is what will make something happen. But the reality is you need to come into the present, the now, anchor, get into your body, move, and it will release. It will create an activation in your physicality that will also feel even better than what you feel right now. If this dreaminess is feeling good to you. Yeah, I'm just feeling like present and being present, moving your body just like really will activate this and give you some passion and motivation. Okay, last thing to know about anything to clear or how to kind of prime your root chakra for receiving the download, anchoring it into you. The revolutionary. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe the inspiration, I take that as a sign too. Moving the flame. Something's really sparking to life here. Whatever inspiration or download has come, as you move this into your body, as that clearing of your root chakra and the activation and openness of it comes, and as it anchors into you, you may have this moment of like, this is actually something that's really going to revolutionize my life. Like, this is a big message, but you may not realize that aspect of it until it grounds into you. So to me, this is sort of like a pep talk of what's to come if you can coax yourself to move out of like mind and dreaminess into presence and embodiment, as you're going to the way that this download mutates when it goes into your root chakra is all of a sudden this like huge release for you of like, oh wow, this is something that could really change some things for the better for me, really liberate something in my life in a way that feels very good. And again, we've got some swords coming through, Page of Swords. Yeah, it's again, to me, this is just confirming like as much as you're really wanting to be in like a dreaminess or trapped in your mind, all these pages, it's sort of the dreamer. The way I like to look at pages is they're kind of the dreamer. It's like whatever you can do to coax yourself out of that dreamer mode, because I do think there's, whether it feels good or you just don't know how to get out of that, this is just saying that you need to coax yourself there. Activity, presence, mindfulness, whatever it is you can do to settle your mind, get into your body. It's just, same message sort of coming through again and again here. Okay, so we've looked at ways what messages we can source right now in terms of how You can make your root chakra more activated, more opened, what you kind of need to do to clear certain things and prepare it. But now I want to look at, in general, some insight into understanding your particular root chakra, how you connect to it, with how you develop a relationship with it, how you know you're working well with it, that kind of thing. So to start, we are going to look at what is the way in which you connect to and develop a strong relationship to your root chakra. So, maybe this is stuff you already do, or insight into how to better connect to your root chakra and develop a relationship with it. Joy, that's so beautiful. So there's something about your, getting into your root chakra, activating your root chakra. You really develop a bond with it, a link to it, a relationship to it when you are in joy. So this says the energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. So this is twofold to me. And 28 too, this is a perfect number. I won't get into that mathematically, but it's like in the world of math, 28 is a perfect number. Anyway, this is twofold to me. I think that you help strengthen your root chakra when you are in a place of joy. And by developing and starting to better recognize and work with your root chakra, this also in turn provides you more joy. So finding joy develops your relationship, strengthens your root chakra, and connecting to your root chakra creates more joy in your life. So it goes both ways here. Let's get a confirmation about this. Seven of Swords. It also makes you, when you're really aligned with and working well with and in relationship with your root chakra, you're pretty formidable. You're that joy may spark a little bit of both admiration and sometimes envy from others, and you may feel sometimes people challenging that or wanting it for themselves, so trying to siphon something about that from you. But when you're really in relationship with it, when you really feel like you understand and are very connected to your root chakra, that there's nothing to fear about that. It's very, like you're very strong here, and there's no competing or siphoning that will work. So there may be appearance of sort of competitors or something, but it's a false appearance. There's really nothing that can be done there. So brush that off. I think that's what I want that's coming up here, is like when you're really strongly connected to this, like definitely, like competitors will appear, but trust that it's a false front. There's no competition to be had. There's nothing that can actually happen by that false appearance or positioning of others in that kind of way, or whatever it is. Like it's not going to affect you. So just let it roll off of you if that ever bugs you. Okay, now we're going to look at what kind of energy will appear when you are really working well with your root chakra. And we have courage. I love that. So I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So when you're really connected with your root chakra and it's open and active, it really instills you with courage, strength, and confidence. Ability to face things that might feel daunting even. Okay. Or take on things that feel, big or too powerful, or, whatever it is. It's like a real courage ignites in you when you're working well with your root chakra, when it's open and active and healthy. King of Swords. Yeah, we've already seen there's a lot of swords energy in you, a lot of mind energy here. But instead of being in a page mode, a dreamer mode, when you're really working in a healthy way, when your root chakra is healthy, active, open, strong, you become more of a master, an authority, and a sage in that mental realm rather than a dreamer. So the more you work with, strengthen, develop your root chakra and your understanding of it and how it works and what your relationship with is with it, it helps you to find mental mastery in the realm of ideas, mastery in the realm of philosophies, mastery in the realm of relationships, mastery in the realm of any relational or intellectual pursuits, writing, speaking, ideas, something in the relational domain, whatever it is for you. Okay, and then let's look at what is the process. What does it feel like? What is in general, when a download is anchoring in to your root chakra, what is that chakra's process methodology? How does that feel to you? What is that energy that sort of takes place when that anchoring is taking place? Unicorn, that doesn't surprise me. There is some serious connection between your mind and your root chakra. But it's interesting because I think it works, from what I saw up here, I think there's a perspective shift you need to have in terms of thinking that your mind is the thing that helps anchor things in. It's no, when you anchor and you get into your body, that's the thing that makes your mind more stable and organized and strong, not the other way around, finding the idea first to anchor in. Anchor into your body first, and then sort of real mastery settles into mind. So it starts with body rather than mind for you to really find the strength of your mind. There's something about strength of body and being in embodiment that really strengthens your mind. Okay, a little confirmation here of this process. Strength reversed. To me, this is just saying that's just confirming to me that there's something counterintuitive here, maybe to you. But there is something about embodiment, being active with your body, having a strong body, paying attention to body and its ability to create connection for you and belonging for you and alignment within you that really illuminates, really beautiful ideas in just this solid way. But you need to sort of submit to that counterintuitive aspect instead of getting in your mind first and trying to figure something out. If you're ever hitting that sort of you're puzzling over a question and you're intellectually trying to grasp something, let it go. Do something about body, get into body, and I feel like all of a sudden, like it just appears, like it just happens. Like the answers find you when you do that. Okay, let's look at a general message from Spirit through the crystal realm of something just in general to know, a message it has for you about this particular time, and anchoring in whatever download or inspiration has come to you into your root chakra. Chrysocolla, start fresh. Yeah, there's something interesting here. The revolutionary, that felt like it's connected to what's coming. And so this is another clue that like there's like letting go of old baggage, letting go of where your mind is sort of spinning or dreaming, and just kind of like get into body and open up to something new. Because I really think something very liberating is going to be released as this anchors into you. Okay, last card I want to look at. Even though, you know, I'm leaving this open-ended for each of you to go through your own processes. So this is, you know, allowing it to be very individual for you in this spiral of creation, in terms of what that root chakra, once your download comes in and moves into your root chakra, you know, it's gonna, you know, that download will mutate at each stop. Instead of telling you what that mutation is going to bring, so we don't even, you know, I don't know what your download was, your inspiration was, and I don't want to tell you how it's going to mutate. I want that to be very individualistic for you. So I'm, you know, spent a lot of time on just like how to clear and activate and what is your connection to the root chakra. But I do want some insight, and I do want to give you, you know, we've had little sparks of insight, but I do want to give you a plant ally and plant wisdom to leave you with that Spirit thinks will be helpful for you in this journey to anchor your inspiration in. Okay, St. John's wort, and I'm going to be reading from the guidebook for this, and they're, you know, it's like a page long for each of these, so just buckle in for just a minute, but this is the last card. Okay, St. John's wort, the ladder and the stairway. St. John's wort is the plant ally of light and duality. That definitely feels like the mind. You must find your way along this spectrum, and St. John's wort will be your guide. We are all in relationship to light in our lives in different ways. Sometimes it is hard to be in the light, to take it in, to glow and be brilliant. Sometimes feeling seen or being on is not where we want to be, or does not feel safe. Yeah, that's where I feel like you're like hiding away in dreams rather than kind of being up and out and in your body and present. Sometimes we are not in a loving relationship with ourselves, and we do not want to share our unique gifts with others. St. John's wort is an ally in this time, so that the turning inwards, the focus on the shadows, and the need to be invisible does not spiral us downwards into self-isolation, self-loathing, or prolonged depression. Beautiful. So this is going to help. This plant ally being given to you wants to help kind of soothe your soul a little bit and help you connect to your shine, which is beautiful. We are also in a relationship to darkness in our lives and ourselves, and sometimes we are afraid to step into those places and really explore. Darkness is beautiful and powerful and absolutely essential to our being and our health. Exploring shadows for some can feel terrifying or simply hard to access, and sitting in the lighter places in the go-to modus operandi. St. John's wort is also here to guide you into yourself. Yeah, which I feel like is guiding you back into your body. Let's see, where did I leave off? here to guide you into yourself, to allow you to explore the unseen, to face the rich magic of the ocean at night, the inky depths of our soul, and the dream state of our inner lives. This state is full of important information and messages for us to integrate into our lives, and we need not be afraid or shy away from spending time there. I think you're very adept, like you're already in there exploring that inner world, the depths of your soul. And it's just about bringing this, I think at this point for you, it's about bringing it back out and being present with it. And just sort of allowing, well, let's finish this. This state is full of important information and messages to integrate into our lives, and we need not be afraid or shy away from spending time there. Find your way through the beautiful layers of light and dark, and all worlds will be open to you. Beautiful. I think you're very much so exploring these other inner realms, the light and the shadow of it are both there. And this is saying it's time to anchor that in and get back into your body for this to, for you to be present with it, root into it, and see what's luminous about it. And I feel like a fresh opening, a fresh start, something revolutionary as you get more and more from dream into embodiment. Whatever mutates from the original download or inspiration is going to reveal fresh start, fresh openings, liberating from something, deeply intuitive knowings, inner knowings as well. Yeah, all right, beautiful. So this is where I'm going to leave you, pile 3. Good luck on this next week or whatever it is for you between now and doing the 3rd reading, which will be back up at the 3rd eye, where we will go into inner knowing and connect to intuition, as well as being able to see with vision. So giving some foresight and planning here and understanding which programming needs to be cut away. So take your time before you go to that reading. If you're coming to this at a point when all the readings are already out and you could just go straight there, maybe take a beat until you feel like this root chakra and all the things we've uncovered here have really settled into you. Just trust your intuition of knowing when it's right to go to that reading if it's already available. Okay, I will see you in that next reading whenever you're ready. See you guys. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your 2nd reading of this Spiral of Creation series. We are down in the root chakra. And for you guys, you picked the card, the Muladhara or root chakra card from your wild animal body deck. And this was just sort of an avatar or placeholder for the pile. We're not actually going to use this card in the deck. It's just sort of representing that we're in the root chakra. So I'm going to place this to the side. So the process that we are going into over the next week with this reading is taking what inspiration, spark of the divine, or download you received as you worked with your crown chakra in that first reading and some days after that. So hopefully you've taken, if you're doing these in the same timing as I'm releasing them, it's been a week, but for some of you, you may be coming to this when all of them are available. And so I would just encourage you that if you don't feel like you've had that spark yet, that inspiration, that download yet, to wait till you feel like you have that to come to this reading. So if that has taken place, you're good to go, and let's get into this. So the first row that I'm going to be doing, cards up here, we're going to be looking at currently what do you need to know in terms of things that may be blocking or that need clearing or that need healing to help your root chakra sort of activate and be clear and be ready to anchor this inspiration or download into your body, to find how you connect to it, how it belongs to you through embodiment, and how your soul feels aligned to it. So at each step, there will be a mutation that will take place. So the mutation that will take place in the root chakra is mutating whatever came so that it's very aligned with your soul. And it's interesting, I'm feeling very compelled to spend time on that with you guys. I did spend so much time talking about that with other piles. So that's one insight I already have before I'm even picking a card, is I feel like there's going to need to be some process and mutation, maybe more so than the other piles, for you guys to really make this feel like it belongs to you, and that it's right and aligned for you right now. Okay, let's look at other things in general that your root chakra needs right now to be cleared and healthy and open and active. Leo, shine. So this is saying getting a little bit more into your heart, coming from a space of heart and love and courage. So it could be one of several things. It could be being more courageous right now to sort of step out into the light with something. It could be saying that you're needing to come from a more loving, generous place right now, or it could be saying that that it's okay, accept, for some of you, you may be in too humble of a place right now, and you need to better receive and accept sort of praise or victories with something. But whatever it is for you, there's something in this Leo energy where you need to more fully allow it to be in you, allow yourself to shine a little bit. So whether that's being more courageous, more allowing, more a little less humble, whatever it is for you. But being the fifth card to me too is there's a shift that's needed to get better into this, or more warm towards life or others. And then confirmation here is 7 of Swords. Yeah. There could be currently a little bit too much concern about following the crowd, or trying to do something the way others have done it and been successful, or worrying too much about the approval of others, or feeling some sort of imposter syndrome here, and so needing to mimic how others are doing things. And this is just saying you need to cut out outside influences and step into your own creativity and do what lights you up for you right now. There's something about, that will shed some anxiety that's around you, that's keeping you from feeling grounded, by stepping into your own heart, doing what makes you feel happy for you, and not caring what others think, or if it's done the right way, or whatever. This is something about just I'm doing me. I don't care how anyone else does it, what anyone else thinks. This makes me happy, hence it makes me shine. Okay. And this to me is giving me a clue, Spirit coming through saying one way to really help you make the shift needed is to listen to music that can help you get into your body, because we are in the root chakra. It is about getting into, anchoring into your body. So there may be Something about tapping into music that brings you joy, music that makes you feel uplifted, music that's fun and lively, music that feels like it connects to your heart. There's something about that that will give you the courage to just do you, to shine, to play, to enjoy your creative process. And again, the last reading, there was a 28, and I don't know why, I'm just noticing it suddenly, like 28s suddenly, because I was reading a book about, it's a fiction book, but it had a lot of, there was like some mathematics professor in it that talked a lot about numbers, and so I've just been noticing 28 lately, because he was obsessed with 28 being a perfect number. I won't get into why that is, but yeah, in the world of mathematics, that's considered a perfect number. So there's something about finding joy through music, finding music that puts you in your heart, that makes you feel alive and vital, that perfects something for you, that really opens your crown chakra and or your root chakra and helps you to feel embodied. Yeah, it brings you stability. Really tap into, you know what? Maybe it's music, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's just being playful and silly, but what is it that you can do that brings you joy right now? And it's really going to bring you a lot of solidity, a lot of success. And we see that with the Leo too. Like, you are, primed to be shining right now, but I think you're like, it's like you're too fixed on what others are doing or what they might think. And if you can just shed that, it's like success is already around you, and you just need a shift, like the 5, a shift in perspective, and that success will come in as soon as you just do things for your own joy, from your own joy, and have some fun. Have some fun is what I'm feeling. And then last, we've got higher perspective. Yeah, that's having some fun will not only bring you more joy, give you more courage, bring in the success that is trying to come in for you, but it's also going to give you a higher perspective, a shift in perspective, and a lot of beautiful inner knowing that helps you. I'm just seeing like this has wings on it, helps you to take flight. And there's something needing to be done. It's funny, I don't feel like this is your root chakra energy, but it's like something, that shift you have to make because of something that's going on in your life that just needs to be attended to. And getting into this and making that shift will help you to kind of let that go. And then you can sort of focus on being in your root chakra and kind of getting, this is what I'm feeling. It's not necessarily that your root chakra is blocked. It's that this is like dominating your life right now, whatever this is to you. And it's like you need to attend to this before you have any capacity to really focus on and work with your root chakra. And then judgment in reverse. To me, this is saying like you really need to take control of this situation for yourself, rather than letting judgment from the outside come in and affect your world, or affect how you feel about yourself, or affect your life's direction. You need to make judgment calls for yourself, and you do have the higher perspective you need to do this. So it's like also not only get into joy, get into heart, allow your shine, allow victories, but trust your higher perspective and trust the decisions you're needing to make for yourself right now. There is something, I feel like there's some big judgment decision that needs to be made, and you're being encouraged to not wait for that to be made for you, but to take control of that for yourself, because you know what needs to be done, you know what's best for you. Trust yourself in that and make your own decision. Okay. And this feels like, yeah, it's not necessarily about your root chakra, but this has to be cleared before you can anchor anything in. Yeah, okay. So we are now going to look at, in general, help you to understand your root chakra. How do you develop a relationship with it? What does that look like? How do you know when you're working well with it? And what is its process when it is anchoring things into your life? What does that feel like? So freedom, this is the deck I'm using to show in what way do you sort of really develop a relationship and get to know your root chakra. So freedom. The energy of freedom supports our sense of limitless possibility and potential, boundless expression, and bold exploration. So feeling free, and there is some tie-in here, I am feeling like. So there, maybe this has a little bit more to do with your root chakra than I was initially sensing. Specifically what I'm looking at is this Seven of Swords. The more you can be the authority of your own life and do things that feel good to you, for you, without caring so much about how it's being done elsewhere or what others might think about how you do it, the more you give yourself freedom to just be you, do it your way, experiment with things, just like cultivating a sense of freedom, even in really pragmatic things like allowing yourself to travel more, whatever to you feels like in any moment. Asking that question of what would give me a greater sense of freedom or a greater feeling of freedom. And it doesn't have to be around anything in particular, just in every moment. Anytime you're trying to connect to your root chakra, which is where we anchor things in, ground, and find connection and alignment with things trying to, take shape in our lives. To really connect to that root chakra and develop a relationship with it, hence understand what it's doing. Anytime you're feeling like you want to connect to that, ask, and there's like a block or something, like ask what it is right now that would give me a greater sense of freedom. And that will really strengthen your connection to your root chakra and strengthen your root chakra in general. And in turn, then your root chakra will also generate more freedom in your life. Okay, Ace of Swords in reverse. I think your root chakra, the more you develop a relationship with it, the more you're going to understand the power it can give you in cutting cords with things that that you don't need there, that you don't want there, that don't belong there, that help you cut cords from anything that feel like they trap you, that feel like they hem you in, contain you, trap you, dictate things in your life to you. The stronger you develop a relationship with your root chakra, the stronger the capability it's going to have to help you with that kind of a process. Really cool. Okay, and now we're going to look at sort of like the energy that that is around you or patterns you'll see when your root chakra is active and healthy and working beautifully in your life. Envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So I feel like this is saying, and it's going back to the Seven of Swords, it's like when your root chakra is activated and you have a very healthy relationship with it, you're connected with it, and it's, active in your life, clear and healthy and active in your life, you will be able to step out of any moments of feeling envy, feeling like you need to see what everyone's doing, feeling like you need approval, feeling any kind of hooks from the outside world. That will all be gone, and you'll just feel in that Leo energy of like, I'm my own commander and I do things from my heart, I act in accordance with what lights me up. I act in accordance with what makes me feel good. I act in accordance with my joy, my warmth, my compassion. And so like when it's healthy, I think it has more of this Leo energy, and when it's sort of blocked or shut off, I think there can be some patterns of sort of envy or too much attention on other how are others doing it? What will others think? That kind of thing. Let's get a confirmation here. Yeah, exactly. The devil, like this is something that has a hook in you. It's just something about the way your root chakra is oriented. And just looking at the world here too, because both the devil and the world have some Capricornian Saturn kind of energy with them, and this one feels like it is free, and this one feels like it is trapped. And so there's a difference. Like, how do you know? Like there may just be some very responsible energy in your root chakra, and sometimes that responsibility, that energy of responsibility, because we are responsible for things, for other people. We have weight on our shoulders. It's sort of an outer world facing thing. It can make us very concerned about the people we're affecting, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, unless it starts to trap you, make you acquiesce to things you shouldn't, fall out of alignment with your heart. And this is why that freedom is so important. Every step when you're feeling unanchored to your life, like, what hook do I need to release right now? Because that's the devil. You have the potential, I think, through the energy of your root chakra to really hold position in this world, command and leadership, but you should not be sacrificing your integrity, anything that would put a hook in you that suddenly changes that responsibility from feeling solid and integral to feeling trapped and like hooks in you. And sort of like maintaining some kind of freedom and maintaining integrity through coming through your heart versus acquiescing to what others are saying, what others are doing, temptations. It's like, stay with your integrity, stay with your heart. This will keep the freedom clear and the envy away, and it will keep your integrity intact and bring success and authority that is free and admired versus sort of trapped in boxes and hooks of sort of your own making here. Yeah, interesting. But such potential, like a really powerful root chakra, like it really knows how to anchor in kind of success in your life. You just have to, there's a subtle difference of like doing this in a way that feels like this versus this. Okay, now we're going to look at when sort of the process, how does that process feel? When your root chakra is anchoring something in and mutating that inspiration, the download that's come, what is its process? So how does that feel? Which will help you kind of understand it better too. Beautiful, octopus, very, yeah, your root chakra is very multifaceted. It's very intelligent. It is, you know, there is this energy, again, of entanglement here too, of like, it is like, there is this deep concern. Like, I think you have a lot of networks, a lot of dimensional ways you're sort of plugged in terms of building the foundations of your life, that can make things somewhat complicated. But it's like the way to be entangled with freedom versus entangled with hooks is, again, I'm just going to say it over and over again, is like staying with your heart, staying away from caring too much about how others are wanting things done, how others are doing things, and what others are going to think. Like, you really need to stay in your heart to keep your integrity and to keep all these many facets of you and the big responsibility that your root chakra allows you to take on, successful in a very clear, integral way versus, that more trapped way. And then King of Cups. Yeah, there is a deep care. You care a lot. Your root chakra cares a lot. And it has a lot of authority. And just like this higher perspective card that came out, you need to me, this is saying currently how your root chakra is working as it is sort of, a little too invested in how other people feel. And it's affecting your own heart's integrity. And so needing your root chakra process to flip around to, again, just keep going back to this Leo card. It seems like such a strong indicator here is like, I think you need to understand that you have a lot more authority and command than you often realize, and a lot more say-so than you realize, and you need to trust your own heart in how, as you root things into your life, take pressures on in your embodiment, in how you're connecting and grounding and anchoring things into your life. Like, you are going to entangle. I think that's just part of your process, and it makes you very intelligent and dimensional and multifaceted, but you still, even though you're entangling in a lot of places, you need to always do that from your heart and not out of what, how other people are trying to persuade your heart. So your process right now is needing a little bit of a refinement. But it's like, again, going back to what feels joyful, what feels free, what lights you up, what gives you courage, and trusting that you have way more authority than you realize, way more say-so than you realize, way more wisdom, and you have the perspective that's required to make the decisions, the entanglements, take the actions you need to take. So it's like, it's great to get feedback. It's great to get advice, all of that. But anytime you just, actually have to come to that decision, take that all in. But when you make the decision, it needs to come from your own heart, even if it is a decision that goes against all of the feedback you've been getting, because you are the one with the perspective needed. And yeah, so yeah, anyway, okay, we're going to move on from this. So top row, currently something you're needing to do to, prime your root chakra. And then we just looked at a little bit of like how your root chakra works, how you connect with it, things to know about it in general. And now we're just going to get a few, I'm not going intensely into how your download inspiration is going to mutate, because I want that to be your own process. But I do want to pull a couple of cards that are going to give some insight and wisdom into going forward as this starts to anchor into you, what to know, what's some insight into maybe what's coming, what to know. Yeah. So blue lace agate, find your calm. Definitely. That's beautiful. And to me, the find your calm means find your heart, means pull your energy back from what others are saying, doing, thinking. You'll find your calm in your own heart. And that calm will help things settle and anchor in. Okay, last card. We're going to call on a plant ally and plant medicine to be with you over the next week or however long you stay with this process of anchoring something in. And wisdom it has about this, what you'll be needing for that time to, anchor in what is trying to anchor in. So we have the very first one, aconite. So I'm going to read from the book for this, and it's like a page long, so buckle in a little. Okay, the sustainer of form. Oh, this is arnica. I was like, wait, what? That's not the right card. Hold on. Okay, aconite. Sorry, Queen of Poisons and Mirrors. Interesting. Aconite is an edge walker, known as the Queen of Poisons. Aconite is a plant that is to be taken seriously, dangerously, and reverently as an ally and friend, not to be trifled with. Poison plants show us the edges of what is possible and guard the gates that are not meant to be passed until the time is right. Poison plants demand attention and respect. Aconite is a beautiful and enticing plant who draws you to the fork in the road and tells you to choose. Yeah, there's some choice coming up with that judgment. While this plant has a dark history of use on poison arrows and war, and to silently murder enemies in the night, their true tale is of another nature. Aconite is a plant that speaks to courage, love, and claiming our integrity over our dread. Totally what we've been talking about with the Leo energy. There has always been pain and violence in the world, driven mostly by fear, unreleased trauma, and instabilities. These fears and worries can be expressed as harm towards others and the world at large, or they can be nurtured and dissolved through the fiercest, most courageous love we can summon. Again, Leo in the heart. Aconite asks this of us, and in fact requires it. Sometimes referred to as the scorpion's tail, aconite is a lightning strike, a warning. Find the spark of love burning in your deepest places and release it out into the world. We are much more powerful than our greatest fears, and only the force of love is the source. Strike out and pierce the heart with aconite's accomplishment. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense here. There's so much that I keep going back to about like needing to stay in your heart currently with something going on, and in general in the processes your root chakra engages you with, the things it likes to anchor in. There's just this deep need to stay with your heart, and whatever is coming in right now, it's no different. There's a lot of power, a lot of worldly things, a lot of, you anchor big things in. And that just makes it a big process. You may need more time than others to do this. And by coming from your heart, everything will always be much more clear, much more loving, and much more free. Yeah, okay. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys, and sit with this as long as feels right to you until you feel like your download or inspiration has anchored into you and you feel like something about what we've talked about is kind of at work and revving in the right way. And then go to the third reading. We'll go back up to the third eye. So if you're doing this in time with me, it'll be a week between, but you may be coming to this at another time when these are all available already. And I would encourage you not to go directly from this to the next one. I would encourage you to take at least a couple days, if not a week, to sit with this, to let something anchor in, connect to your heart, and really feel that connection, like some mutation has happened with your illumination, your inspiration that is now anchored into you, and it feels like it belongs, and it feels like it's aligned with your soul. And your root chakra feels a certain freedom and a certain connection to heart and your heart's authority and the right entanglements here for you guys. And like I said, coming into this, I do feel like this pile, I had that sense like this is going to take longer for you than the other piles. So even if you need more than a week, and it makes sense to me because you anchor in really powerful big things. So just, allow yourself time with your root chakra for sure. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you. If this resonated, I always appreciate a thumbs up. Little comments are always great as well and fun to read, and definitely subscribe if you're not. And I will see you next in the third eye chakra reading for the spiral of creation whenever you are ready for that. All right, see you guys.